Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual General Aviation aviator, and you guessed it. Yes, another FSE flight in the PC-12. So I know it seems like I do a lot of flights here, but I earn virtual money and I like the PC-12. Ah man, speaking of the PC-12, I can't wait until somebody come out with the Honeywell Primus avionics suite for the PC-12 so that I can fly the next generation version with the Honeywell glass cockpits. Anyway, let's get started. All right, so the plan today is a route that I tend to fly often, a route from Charlotte to Raleigh-Durham. Sorry about the black screen. And let's see. And let's drop that in. Hopefully you can see what I'm seeing. All right. So this is my FSE plan. I've got all these passengers loaded. Now I'm dropping two off at Burlington, which is a regional airport just west of Raleigh-Durham and just west of Raleigh-Durham International, and of course in the part in Charlotte. And the other passengers are going to Raleigh-Durham. The pay load, the payday is worth 8,500 bucks, and since I'm flying a plane that I own, then basically the only thing I got to pay for is the gas and, of course, landing fees that I can't avoid at FSE anyway, um, even if they don't have the landing fees in real life. So, with the landing fees for Burlington, um, may make let's see, that's about what, 1,650 bucks. So I may make about 700, 800 bucks. Landing fees usually 300 or 400 bucks. I guess 1,100, somewhere there about. I don't know. Anyway, don't want to bore you too much with the detail here. So I've already got these guys um, ready to load, and I've got 72% or 291 gallons in the aircraft. I think I multiplied that out by six by six for 6 pounds per gallon, and that's roughly about 1,700 pounds, somewhere there about. Anyway, so let's see. They actually do the pounds for the passengers. I don't know if that includes the gas or not. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty close to max for this airplane, and I am flying the. Let's see, I am flying the STMA version of this airplane. Now, to be honest with you, one thing that I don't like about flying the STMA version is that it gets really sluggish with a lot of gas um, and a full tank. So getting off the ground can be a challenge. But I've always managed to do it. So yeah, so it'll happen. All right. So let's go ahead and get a checklist out the way. Now I didn't go through the the before engine start stuff. But I do know that one thing I tend to overlook is turning on my oxygen, which is somewhere up in here. Okay. But I think everything else is pretty set. And I know that from experience. All right. So I'm just going to go to before engine start, and pre-flight is done. Now, if things are already in the correct state, if it's if it's something that I don't need to do, this checklist will check it off automatically. So in the interest of time, I am going to just kind of um, drop down to the next thing. Oxygen mask circuit breakers are checked. Let's on my EPS. That's our emergency power system. Now you'll see this guy right here come alive. And it did. And of course, it also fired up. It also supplied power to my avionics, which is real cool. More lever, manual override is off. And let's go ahead on. Yeah, standby switch needs to come on. And all overhead switches are off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my beacon on. I guess that's not modeled until I turn battery on. But anyway, um, overhead switches are all off and clearance. Now, I do have VATSIM running in the background, but it turns out, and I'm happy about it, that there are no controllers in Charlotte or the Atlanta Center or Washington Center at this time, so I don't have to worry about um, controls. Let's get this guy started up. At least not at the time that I started this flight. Now there could be somebody online by now. Let's the way I tend to check is to look at the sim aware map. Let's see. I think you can see that. I guess you can't. The way I tend to check is to look at the sim aware map and to make sure that I got ATC chalk ticked on. And let's see if I see my aircraft. Um, let's see, I'm in North Carolina at Charlotte. So yeah, that's me right here at Charlotte. So let's get moving. Okay. So let's go ahead on and go through this clearance obtain, and let's get the GP, the flight plan set. So I do have a flight plan that I've already loaded. All I need to do is just get it. It's in my catalog somewhere in Charlotte to RDU. It should be this one. And let's preview it. Yep, this is it. So I'm going to fly Charlotte, look like I'm going to fly roughly 90 degrees to the Sand Hills VOR, then turn 360 degrees, almost due north. Well, due north would be actually that way, but almost due north to Liberty. And then from Liberty, I do a full stop at Burlington, KBUY, and then leave Burlington and then go direct to RDU. So that's the plan. So let's go ahead and activate this. Well, I guess it's already activated. All right, so we're good. And we just turn our map on. Okay, all right. So, and we are not going to do any stars or SIDS in this flight. So let's check that off, and now we can get some power going to this bad boy. All right. And one thing I like about this plane is that I can get, rather than having to pan up, I can put that overhead panel right in front of me. Oh man, look at the way the sun is hitting it. It's hard to see. Um, should be able to, oh, should be able to move it. And let's get back a little bit. All right, so battery one can come on and give us some power, and battery two can come on. All right, voltage look good. beacon lights and nav lights need to come on. So let's turn our nav lights on the Bravo. And I can never hear the fuel pumps in this model, um, but um, but we'll assume that I can hear them. All right, and let's do a lamp check now. If you guys, any of you guys who are familiar with the Coronado would love the lamp check. This is the lamp light button here. I know you can't see it because I can't see it, but I can literally check my lamps um, almost the way that it would be done in the real plane. All right, and fire warning. Now, again, this differs from Coronado because you don't get no fire um, audible annunciator in real life. All you get is a cast message. So you'll see my fire pop up on my cast, and it says engine fire and fire detect. Engine fire is in red. All right, so that's working. And now let's check our electronic instrument system. I think that's what EIS stands for. Um, okay, so there's a test button here, and this is really cool. And yeah, everything is working. All right, and fuel contents. Of course, that's going to be ultimately set by FSE, which I've learned from experience that this is the best time to go ahead and load FSE up, because if I don't load it up now, I will take off and forget to load these passengers. And it sucks when I have to return back to the airport just to pick up some passengers. All right, so it's in the process of loading. I shouldn't have hit anything until it finished, because sometimes doing so would get me a nice crash to desktop. Um, so keep your fingers crossed. And we didn't get a crash to desktop. Good deal. All right, so let's start the flight, and you'll see my fuel quantity really didn't change, but I did feel the weight of the aircraft change, and I got these passengers loaded. So I am done with this window and going to the next guy. Prop clear. All right, so we can do a clear prop. All right, check right. Don't see anybody out there. No, yeah, and check left. And looks kind of, the air looks kind of smoggy for some reason. Um, yeah, okay. Start a switch. Okay, press 2 seconds. When con when NG get 12%, then go to ground idle. Check my oil pressure and monitor my ITT and NG. And if I get a good start, then I do an instrument check. Okay, so make sure that the condition level is set. And here's another thing that's really cool about this aircraft. If I just click this start button, nothing happens. I literally have to hold it for this 2 seconds. 1001, 1002. There we go. NGs are coming up, or pressure is coming up. Okay, and I'm waiting on 12%. So before I introduce fuel, and she just lit off. Monitoring my ITT. Now it always peak. There's nothing I can do about that. But she's coming right down. and I'm over 52% on the NG, coming down on ITT. It looks like I got a good start. Oil pressure is in the green. All right. And so I've got now I've 72% gave me 1,900 pounds of fuel. Of course, there is some reserve, so that sounds about right. All right, generator one and two can come on. That's one and two. The inverter is on, and avionics one and two can come on, and passenger advisory. Have them guys not smoke and fasten their seat belts. And standby bus can go off, and I didn't have external power on. Okay, air conditioner as required. And this is late fall. It's actually November. So actually late November. So, and actually I can shut these doors. Okay. And pusher environmental control systems and probes are on my CAS messages. Okay, air conditioner outside air temperature is 6 degrees, so that's 32 plus 12 is 44 degrees Fahrenheit. And this one doesn't give me, I'm not sure. I was trying to see if it gave me any Fahrenheit, but all I was able to do is set a stopwatch. Okay, so anyway, air conditioner. We'll turn a little heat on, right? So let's go up here to cabin heat and just a little bit on. Of course, and yeah, I think that's good. And we also got our environmental systems here. Um, Toggle that up. There we go. And turn it up. Okay, so we good there. ECS is on auto. Yep. And pressurization. Now we'll be climbing up to 7,000 today. So let's just reflect 7,000. That's 5, and that's 10. That's about 8, which is 7,000 plus 500 is really what we want. So 7,500, and that ought to give us about what we want. All right, and let's get some 15 degrees of flaps in. And actually, guys, I know sometimes these are really hard to read, so I am going to turn these panel lights on. Instrument lights come on and turn them up. Let's see. And turn them up a little bit more. All right. So yeah, that might help you guys see it. I can see them fine, but I do notice that on playback, um, if I got these lights on, then that really helps. Okay, and hopefully you guys will play this back in 4K. because this sim is gorgeous in 4K. Okay, AHARS, no flags, and autopilot. Let's check that guy. And let's do our pusher test. Now I'm going to do the pusher test once and just squeeze through all of this stuff here. Um, all right. So in order to do the pusher test, I've got to torque this guy up to over 5. And so I'm letting it, I torqued it up, and with that, let's see, inertia separator is not on, but it came down to 6.1, so that's good for a pusher test. And what I'm gonna do here, let's get that overhead panel back out. And this is my pusher button, and I'm gonna hold that and and um, and pull on my yoke. All right. And that worked perfectly. All right, so cows look good. Only got the probe lights on. Inertia separator can come on or can be opened. And de-ice, I don't need, don't have any icing issues. Flight controls are free. Box it again and clear. All right, trim set to +3. And so I'm looking at this gauge here, and I know that if I don't set this guy, I want to set it just to the point where my warning light comes on. All right. Okay, well, I'm good there. Warning light didn't come on, but see how much of a nose up attitude I got on that? All right, so trim is set. Instruments are checked. Um, let's make sure. Let's move this guy a little bit because I want to see the compass. Make sure that that's aligned. I want to set my compass to HSI. Uh, so I can see what's going on. Set it on GPS. Set my nav on GPS. Cycle through. Okay. And I actually want my sandals. And I know you guys can't see what I'm doing now, but I'm getting the sandal. I'm fly. This flight plan is 4 of VORs. I'm flying VOR to VOR, and I want to put the sand hills VOR in, which is 111.8. All right, so 111.8, and we'll just flip that in. And found it, and Liberty is 113.2. Let's see if my memory serves me. Nope, it's 1130. 113. Didn't mean to flip it. So flip it. So and it actually shows Sandhills, and Liberty. So that's pretty cool. All right, fuel quantities. Okay, comms set. All right, so I've already got Charlotte ground and tower in. The only thing I need to put in is ATIS and clearance delivery. So let's get those. ATIS is 123.8. So 123.8. So let's flip that. And clearance delivery is 118. No. Clearance delivery for Charlotte is. I thought this was gonna be clearance delivery, but it's 120.1. So let's change that. Uh, and all we need to do is just go up to find that click spot. Oops, 2. 120.1. 120.1. Okay. And let's get our ATIS. Well, let's just go on with our chat list. All right. So that's set. And yep, see, I got that warning. So that's what I was talking about with that trim. So let me trim it down just a touch to that stabilizer trim light goes out. And hopefully it won't come back on. Okay. All right. Okay, traffic systems. Let's get this stuff here turned on. I always forget to turn the transponder on here because I'm so used to turning it on here in the 750, and technically they would both work together. Um, and I did get a clearance, which means that I would have got a squawk code for an IFR flight because this is IFR. So let's go ahead and put 5421 in. I think what I just put in 50 5214. Ha. All right. So yeah, and then traffic. So that means that we need to turn this guy on, and just certain things remind me to do certain things, and I still got too much trim in. So take some of this trim out, and hopefully we're good there. All right, cabin pressure. Okay, we set that, and so that's good. And flight director. Um, so we are going to just climb out to our flight. 1,600 feet a minute sounds good to me, and we want 7,000 to our cruise altitude because this, for where we are going, we don't need to get in the flight levels. Okay. All right, so we are ready to taxi. All right, so let's get rid of this guy here. And let's turn our taxi light on. And that should be on. Recognition lights can come on. And we'll check our brakes. And that should cause us to be able to move forward. I got the brakes depressed. Okay, brakes are good. Flight instruments are checked. And I do need to get my ATIS and set my altimeter. All right. And let's make sure I get real weather turned on. I do. Okay. All right. So let's pop this in. And since I've got Xpilot running, that's dampening my ATIS. So I'm going to say default ATIS. Let's enable that. And ATIS is 123.0, point 8, I mean 123.8. And sometimes Xpilot can be a little cantankerous with ATIS. All right, so I tell you what we'll do, guys. We will use this ATIS here, not ATIS, this METAR, to get our information. So winds are 101 010 at 5 knots, and sky conditions 25,000, temperature 6 degrees, dew point -4, pressure is 30.42, and let's see, visibility is greater than 10, 30.42. So let's get that dialed in. I hate these click spots. Man, it's a high pressure. All right, 30.42. And let's do a cross check. Let's 760. Check that with our airport, and airport elevation for Charlotte is 746. All right, and let's see, 744. Yep. So I'm okay with 760. All right. Sometimes I've never known it to hit the numbers on the nose. And if you're wondering what I was just looking at, then I was just looking at the airport from Sky Vector. All right. So let's get out of here and get rid of this guy. Flight instruments are checked. We got our ATIS. Take off brief. So we will depart runway 360 right and turn, get within, let's see, with a 1,600-foot climb to 7,000, and at about 3,000 we'll start our turn towards Sandoz. Okay, and that's our takeoff brief. DV1 is shut. Landing lights. Okay, so we need the taxi now. All right, and taxi lights are on, and they would tell us how to get to the runway, which would be Charlotte. Okay, so we are here we're taking off on 36 right, and so take we're gonna take Delta to Delta 1, looks like. All right. So we do know we need to do a 360, and gonna clear again. All right. Brakes are set. All right, brakes are released. Check brakes again. Get rid of this guy here. Find that yellow brick road. Clear for traffic. Now, I turn, since I'm on VATSIM, I turn Traffic Global off. And I tell you what, guys, we're going to do some housekeeping here because I am going to turn VATSIM off and I'm going to leave VATSIM on. We might get might get lucky and get a controller. VATSIM is eating up, Traffic Global is eating up, well, it was eating up 3 frames. And I'm rocking 18, so I may have been disconnected from VATSIM anyway. Let's see. No, it says I'm still connected. Let's get moving. It's gonna disconnect me. Now I can turn off SkyMax and get my frames back. So I turned off Skunk. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Where the heck am I? Yeah, there's my runway. There's my taxiway. I almost found myself taxiing into the runway. This should be Delta. Yep. So I can see that this is Delta. And if I can get rid of this guy, I got my frames back. I don't know why SkyMax just eat up my frames. And to the point that at certain airports it become unusable, which kind of defeat the purpose of having SkyMax. And this is version 4. They came out with a version 5, but the reviews that I've read says that it's not much better. I tried enhanced cloudscapes and I didn't completely uninstall SkyMax. I just disabled it here and enhanced skyscape was eating up my frames. May have been because I didn't completely remove SkyMax. But whatever the case is, okay, that's my ILS hold. Whatever the case is, and this is we in VFR conditions, so I can go straight to the VFR hold line. That's what they would have asked me to go. Okay, so anyway, so I was talking about the enhanced clouds in my ability to run them. I guess you get the picture, I hope. All right, so yeah, I do have, you can see the labels for Traffic Global. And I'm gonna turn my labels off. I'm gonna turn back on, make sure ain't nothing landing. And it says clam out. Um, I'm not sure which runway Traffic Global is using. Hopefully they're using the same one that I'm using. All right, so clear for takeoff. Runway 36 right, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. All right, so landing lights can come on. Strobe lights can come on. Windshield heat, not really needed, but we'll turn it on anyway. Probes can come on. That clears my cast. And pressure still set at 7,500, 8,000. Oxygen is on. Flaps are at 15. Condition lever is at ground idle. We'll go to flight idle. And transponder is reporting altitude. Okay. So we are good to go. Sandoz is our first waypoint, and they would be using 1.8. I am committed to 3.6, and that's just the way it is. All right. So now I do have a 4 load, lots of gas. I'm torquing up to about 440, and as I mentioned earlier, when I'm loaded like this, it is sluggish getting off the getting in the air. All right, so we'll rotate at 80. We're at 80 now. Rotate. Positive rate. Tap the brake. Gear up. All right. Actually, she wasn't that bad coming up today. Might have been because I got my trim set the way it should be. All right, so we want to be over 100 knots before we raise those flaps. Flaps up. Climb up to 3,000 and then start our turn. Yaw damper can come on. Inertia separator can go off. Can be closed. $1,000 to go before we engage our autopilot. We'll go ahead and turn our nav on. $500 to go. And get back on course. Turn back to 360. All right, so start our turn, engage our autopilot, and disengage our autopilot. Now, what's going on is I'm climbing out at 1,600 feet, but I got a 1,600 feet descent. So let's fix that. This arrow needs to be pointed up. I've been bitten by that enough times to know exactly what the corporate was, and I have to train myself to make sure that I to make sure that I'm in a ascent rather than a descent. Now we want to capture 7,000 and we're good. Okay, and we're turning towards our first waypoint, and you can see where we are. Let's see if we can see our airport down there. And yep, there is Charlotte. Mm-hmm. All right. Gee, I love the sim. And I really do wish it was as beautiful as Microsoft Flight Sim, or I wish Microsoft Flight Sim was as stable as X-Plane. Um, so 1,000 to go. X-Plane is my sim of choice because while it has its bugs, 95% of the time I can jump in it, take a flight without pulling my hair out. Um, it's it's I run into an issue 95% of the time in the other sim. So so I like flying this sim a lot better. All right, so I'm capturing 7,000 now. That's going to be my cruise. Um, I should have adjusted my climb to 36.9, but we're not going up into the flight levels. All right, so let's open up some checklists. On top of climb, power set. And 37 is what I'm gonna set. All right, we use 84 pounds of fuel to get to the top of the flight. We're leveling off and picking up speed. Um, so our plan is 200 indicated. And we're at 200. So power back on the throttle here. And wonder if we never did get our ADAS. Never did. Okay, so ADAS for RDU for I'm sorry, AWAS ASOS for Burlington is what we want now. So we'll pull out the old electronic flight bag and I don't have the iPad hooked up, so we'll just get this guy here. Let's see. Actually, I could have got the winds from the weather from here. Variable at 060. So it still would have been 36. So I don't. Sometimes it take. I just started Traffic Global, and it just have to catch up. Anyway, they'll get it right eventually. Okay, so Burlington. Let's get. Let's pull Burlington up. And It's not AWAS, it's ASOS. 135.32. So let's drop that in. Of course, in real life, at this point, I'd be on a departure frequency, um, and I would have spoken to departure, giving them some information and doing a altimeter check. All right, let's see. 135.32. I think I said. So let's. Ah, that's wrong button. 32. 135. Flip that in. Now we're way too far out, but I am gonna leave COM2 turned on, and hopefully when we get within range, we'll receive and aid us audibly. I'm not really looking forward to that happening. Let me just make sure that it won't a sound issue. Nope, no sound issue. Uh, Radio volume issue. I want to make sure that I didn't have radio volume set down, turned all the way down to 0. All right, so a little late to check, a little late to check that, but better late than never, right? Okay, so I actually watched the. I know I'm digressing here. I watched a video this morning with Melvin Leroy, and he. Oh, I'm a little bit fast here, and he was flying the King Air into Aspen, and he was talking to Vertical Sim, and it was almost like a interview with a developer of uh, a how should I say the developer scenery developer. That's what Vertical Sim does. He now develops scenery, um, and I think he's doing it full time for X-Plane. Um, and I do have some of his scenery, and I'm not really a scenery guy. My philosophy on scenery has always been if I never been to an airport and I fly in it in X-Plane, then whatever they present to me is plausible as long as they got some semblance of what an airport would look like. You know, I've seen some airports with no buildings and just not even representative of an airport. But anyway, vertical sims airports are done to a high degree of how should I say a high degree of detail, um, and they're not that expensive. I mean, we talking airports for under $10, you know, and that's his regular price. You can catch them on sale, um, and from time to time, and not even spend that much money. But hey, for the price of a McDonald's lunch, basically, you can get some really great airports. And if you fly GA like I do in the continental United States, then they are worth having. So far, I do have Fayetteville um, because that's in my neck of the woods. I do have Norfolk, that's in my neck of the woods on the East Coast, and I do have Myrtle Beach. Um, Now, after looking at some of his latest offerings, he's got gee whiz, probably 4 or 5 times the number of airports. Oh, a little wind shear up here, weather change. He's got probably 4 or 5 airports that I saw the last time I was at his airports, at his website. I think it's verticalsim.com or .net. Let's actually go there. Um, We are in uh, control is doing the work. I didn't turn off my landing, so let's do that now. Let's see. So, here's Duluth Sky Harbor for $6, Fayetteville for 11. Um, just to give you some of the price points, Norfolk for $10, Spokane for $10, and and at this point, he has gotten into some of the larger airports. Baltimore. This is a big ass airport. Excuse my French. I usually don't don't use um, four-letter words in my normal course of talking. So I don't know where that came from. Um, but but yeah. So I don't see myself flying into Baltimore anytime soon. Duluth may be worth discovering, and I'm not sure what the Northeastern Pack is, um, and I don't know why that didn't render. Um, I can see myself definitely flying into Tampa and Sarasota. Um, don't get down to New Orleans that much. Spokane um, is well, I do have some stuff up around Vancouver, so I can see myself maybe exploring that area a little bit more. And Greenville, Spartanburg is between Atlanta and Charlotte, so yeah, I can see myself doing Greenville. And there's actually a second page. And what else do we have? Um, Bishop. I'm not familiar with that airport. It's on sale for $5. Long Island, MacArthur. Not familiar with that one. Sounds like it's up near New York. Corpus Christi. That's in Texas, I think. And um, Eastern Iowa and Province. Um, is that Province, Massachusetts? I'm not sure. But yeah, so let's jump back in our sim and see what's going on, guys, before we do some CFIT. Oh yeah, see the weather's changed on us. And we are approaching our first waypoint. We apparently got a headwind because we are, well, we're not that high. Uh, I'm a little bit slow. I want to be at 200 and I'm at 189 or 190. So let me add a little bit of foot pounds to the to the torque. Uh, let's try 28. Let's see what that does for us. I can see her inching up a little bit. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, I can see myself using quite a bit of vertical sims airports, and they're not that expensive. Of course, um, airports have come down. Well, I've never really been a big connoisseur of airports, but hey, if I am going to simulate flying, then I might as well, where it's affordable, simulate flying in real world airports, right? So yeah. Okay, so let me get rid of this guy. We'll start that turn. Good thing we're on the IFR flight plan because the weather has really changed up. Um, and there's no dodging clouds. Uh, let's see. And I've never been able to get weather to work that well in this particular aircraft. Um, I got the weather on. Ah, we did get I feel like I dropped something. Okay, a little windy up here, but yeah, wind calm 3041 at our destination. And see if we got any cloud information. Well, more than 10 is all we're going to get. So I'm going to just go ahead and dial 03041 in. Let's see. So we got weather information. And looks like we've broke out of that cloud layer. No, actually, what happened here? Oh, I see what it's trying to do. It's trying to get me back down to 7,000. Nope, nope. What the devil's going on here? Let's see. Let's set this and all right. So it did some Microsoft Flight Sim stuff. Um, it wanted to. Okay, I got a call coming in that I gotta take. So hold on. Okay, so now it's trying to climb me back up to 7,000. All right. So I guess the autopilot is doing what it's supposed to do, and I just want to fight it. Let's see. So let's see where we are. Once we get to Liberty, then it's just a few miles to Burlington. Let's make this bigger so we can see what's going on. All right. So one thing I do like about this guy, as the crow fly, I can click here and get a distance. So we're 38 miles as the crow fly from our destination, 23 miles from Liberty, and I can't tell what we are from Liberty to Burlington unless I were to look it up in some other source. But yeah, we at our current altitude and speed, we are just over 10 minutes. So, and we'll do a visual in. I may be able to see Greensboro. Let's see how far are we from Greensboro because it's getting dark. We're 41 nautical miles from Greensboro and 34 from Liberty. Let's see if we can see any of these airports. I know earlier, before I was actually looking, I thought I could see something that looked like an airport. Might have been some other airport that I've already flew over. Um, but it's kind of wishful thinking, hoping that you can see um, an airport 40 miles away, 40 nautical miles away. Um, Not sure what airport that is. Let's see. That would, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure what airport that is. A single runway. And of course, we've got some twos here. Um, that would be this airport, which is Asheboro. And we should be another airport down here. There it is. And that would be this guy, which would be Sala City. So yeah. All right. So we're 8 nautical miles from Liberty and 28 nautical miles from Burlington. So we don't have a plan for landing except um, to fly in. Um, we don't have a plan for landing except to fly in visually. So that's the way we're gonna fly in. All right. So let's get down. Well, let's see, from here to here. I don't think at 7,000 we need to be that concerned about getting down, but I got a tendency of having to do a kamikaze dive in order to get down, which I don't want to do. So let's just go ahead and get on down. All right, and it is getting dark, so let's get some lights on. Let's flood our cockpit with some light, and let's turn this guy up. And all right, and so yeah, we got that flooded a little bit. Cockpit lighting, and so as it gets darker, we should be able to. This stuff should stay as illuminated as it is. All right, and let's get down to 3,000. And we will descend at 1,000. Punch that in. I activate it. Put it back on our torque a little bit to compensate for our 1,000 foot per minute descent. And I'm seeing another airport. Let's see, Asheboro should be behind us. I think I might want to change my descent rate to 1500. Oh, that might be highway. Well, there's a beacon. Um, I can turn up more information so I could get more names of stuff, but that'll just clutter up my map. Okay, so we want '06, so we're gonna land straight in. We're gonna approach straight in, and let's make this. Let's do 1800. And so what I'm thinking I would do, see 3041 is in the box. Let's turn on our landing lights. Well, we won't get that until we drop our gear. Um, and I do believe this is our destination. Yep, it is. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our yaw damper off. And let's go ahead and make it my airplane. And back here, go to KBUY, get some info. Back. Waypoint info. And Unicom. Burlington traffic. Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot is 7 miles to the south, inbound 4-stop, runway 06, Burlington. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our flaps in. Ah, man, wait a minute. Hold. Let's get our flaps out. We're way too fast for flaps. So let's get this power poured out. Get in flap range before we put them flaps in. It was over 200 knots. Trying to drop flaps. All right, let's get them in now. Burlington traffic, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot is 5 miles straight in, runway 06, 4-stop, Burlington. All right, so fuel quantity looks okay. Top of descent, pressurization can come down. Get it trimmed a little bit and line up. Pressurization, bring that on down. Okay, let's get that gear down. In transition. Didn't mean to do that. And I dropped my mouse. Okay. All right. Landing lights can come on. Recognition lights are still on. Burlington traffic, Pilatus 9875, Foxtrot, short final, runway 06, Burlington. All right, more flaps. And we're coming in visually. Post-mortem, I'll tell you what happened. I Now this wouldn't happen in real life, but with this alpha with with this Bravo yoke, when you put it's and let me go over here to get clear of the runway. With this Bravo yoke, if see how I'm at on my torque, I got 9, and now I'm in reverse at 7. So on final, I went into reverse and lost my lift, right, which is the reason why I had a wasted um, landing. So I'm gonna attribute that to equipment error, which is ultimately pilot error because I need to fix the equipment. All right, let's clean up. Flaps up, lights, strobe lights off, landing lights off, taxi lights are on, and inertia separator can come on. And let's see what else. Trim is okay, and transponder can go to standby or ground, okay? And condition can come to ground idle. All right, so it has gotten dark. The flight in the RDU is going to be at night. Okay, so let these guys out and let them walk to the administration building. And park right here on the yellow brick road. All right, brake set. And pros. Okay, they can move about the aircraft. Taxi lights can come off. And I want to go to standby power and battery. Let's lean it out so that the prop will stop. And as long as the prop stop, we can open the door. All right. Stop prop. All right, let's let them out. And let's get paid for them. Finish flight. All right, and now we can start flight. And now I just got my crowd that's going to RDU, so we can get started and get back to RDU. Let's check the website to make sure uh, that what I think is happening is actually what's happening. All right. So I'm gonna refresh this page. Your sim. Okay. All right. That's just information. I don't want to cancel. Okay. So I am ready. I am ready to get airborne. Well, it says I'm airborne, but it's still it. What would be more appropriate is flight in progress. All right, so I've let the Burlington folks out, and I've actually should have gotten paid for them. Um, yep, see, flight in progress. My let's see, lock. So yeah, so I only got $500. All right, so the income was 1,600, and the rental cost, the $600 I get back because it's my airplane. So yeah, so the only thing it did cost me this $484 to fly them there because I don't get the fuel money back, nor do I get these two fees here back. Um, so yeah, but this it's my airplane, so I can't charge myself, so that'll get refunded to me. All right, and let's get back into the aircraft and start this flight, which is already started, so I can get this guy out of the way. And now we're going to do a warm start, which is something that I saw Gene do. So actually, what we have to do is check out ITT. It's down below 150, so I can just do a normal start. But if the ITT was above 150, then I would need to motor the engine, and I don't know if, let's see, yeah, I could motor it just by, um, let's see if this engine will motor. So it's motoring, and you see the ITT is going down. All right, so I can interrupt that. And but if it was above 150, then I need to get the ITT down. So when I start it, it doesn't, and it does a spike. It doesn't do a hot start. Thanks, Gene, for teaching us that. All right, so let's get it started. 1001, 1002. All right, and oil pressure's coming up. NGs are coming up. ITT is coming up. And we want 12% on the NG. ITT is actually going down 12%. Go to ground idle. That introduces fuel. And ITT is coming down as it should. Torque is going up. Oil pressure is in the green. RPMs coming up. And we've got a good start. We want our RPMs to get on up to ultimately 1700. Our NG is a little low, so let's condition that to 60. All right. And let's make our call. Let's see. Let's listen to ADOS before we go. ADOS. Let's get a weather report before we go. AWAS. Um, come to
Burlington Alamance Regional Information Kilo. 2200 Zulu weather.
Kilo.
Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 32,000 broken. Temperature 3. Dew point -5. Altimeter 3041. Arriving runway 06. Departing runway 06. Advise on initial contact you have Kilo.
All right. So it's interesting, let's see, that I get a designation, and I don't think this is towered. I'm pretty sure it's not. But anyway, hey, it is what it is, right? All right, so let's get our flight director set up here. We are going to Raleigh-Durham. Let's get this climb profile set to something positive. And Raleigh-Durham is only we'll climb out at 1,000, and we're not going that high. We'll go up to 35, and we'll fly VFR to Raleigh-Durham. All right, and let's check our flight plan. Okay, so we want a heading of 116. We're flying 35.2 miles, and we want to tune our radios. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, tune our radios. So let's get radio information directly from this the the Garmin, and Raleigh-Durham frequencies. We know our ADOS is 123.8. So, you know what? That's why I didn't get Charlotte. I had the Raleigh-Durham ADOS in there. I think Charlotte was 127.45 on the ADOS. Uh, User error. I wonder how many of you guys who are watching the whole video, which I doubt any of you are, caught that. All right, 123.8 for ADOS, and ground is 121.9. Let's go. Let's see. Let's get ground set on COM2. 121.9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. And get tower on standby. And of course, in reality, we would do approach, and we want, let's see, altitude, no, never the two. See, what's our bearing? 11, shoot, it was 116, and I think it's in this um, range here. So this is easterly, right? 055. No, that's westerly. Let's see. 055. Let's see, where's my 05520. Yeah, that's more westerly back. Um, Shoot, that ain't what I wanted. Um, so I think this is the one that the frequency for departure, for actually arrival that we want. But I'm not sure. Maybe if I go down, I might find. See there. Um, we just use zero. We just use this for approach. All right, but still need to put. I don't have enough frequencies to put tower on standby and put approach in. So tower is gonna be. Um, I do know it's gonna be for the runways that we want. It's actually gonna be either 5 right or 2-3 left. So 127.45 is what we're ultimately gonna put in the box. So I'll write that down so I don't have to look it up. And 12745 is what we're gonna have to stick in the box. And because technically we were taught to approach, and then we will leave Burlington on the Unicom. Then we're taught to approach, and approach will hand us off to tower. Okay, so that's the way it works. All right, so the aircraft is running. Fuel looks good, and we are gonna take off on runway 06. So, and how are we gonna get to 06? That's a good question. KBUY, waypoint information, runways, and they don't have a designation for the taxiway, but we do know that we're going to come out and then turn to the left. To the left. All right. To the left. All right, so let's do it. All right, brakes are released. Burlington traffic, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot is closing our passenger door. All right. And Burlington traffic, 9875 Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot is, I think there's an aircraft next to us, is taxiing to runway 06, departing to the west, Burlington. Yeah, there's that aircraft. And not really that familiar with this airport. So, all right, there's a way out here. Taxi lights are on. Nope, taxi lights are not on. No wonder I'm having a hard time seeing. All right, that's much better. uh, I was getting some ambient light, and I got to do something about this. Let me do this now. Hold on, guys. Okay, so the change I made was when I come down, I'm toggling beta as opposed to reverse. So that should, I don't really need reverse in this. Let's see. Yeah, taxiway is alpha. I don't really need reverse in this aircraft unless I'm landing on a short dirt strip, which I rarely land on short dirt strips, um, but it sure would be nice to be able to get that to work the way I want it to work, which is when I get to the stop. See, I got about a quarter inch of throw before the stop on that Bravo before it go where it goes into beta. Like I haven't reached the stop, but I'm in beta, and beta is kind of acting. I did change it from reverse to beta, um, which means that which I don't have any reverse at all. Okay, so I got a caution light up, but as you can see, it will reverse in beta. Um, so we'll just use beta as reverse. Okay, the caution light is my probes. And it's night. So we're using the GTN to kind of keep us on track on getting up here to this runway. And we're going to 06. All right. Climbing out at 1,000 feet a minute. Cruise is 3,500. And we'll stop here. Do a final check. Make our call. Don't see anything coming in. Burlington traffic, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot is taking off, runway 6, Burlington. All right. So strobe lights can come on, landing lights can come on, taxi lights can go off, recognition lights are on, probes can go on, inertial separator should have been on, but it could go off if it was, or stay on until we get airborne. Yaw damper is off, can go off, and yeah, let's see what else we got. Condition to flight idle, and let's take the runway. All right, torque up to about 40. Release the brake. Still got a full load. Trim is set. Rotate at 80. Over that center line, 80, rotate. Positive rate. Tap the brake. Gear up. We're above 100, flaps up on the airspeed. Approaching 1,500. So we'll go ahead and make our turn to the west. Oh, I'm sorry, to the east. And engage our yaw damper. Turn inertia separator off, which is not on. And autopilot can come on. And whoops. And flaps can come up. Thought I had the flaps already raised. And I thought I should be clamming out at 1,000. All right, so let's turn that back on. All right, so 1,000. It's 3,500. So why is my out? Why is it trying to get above 1,000? All right, 3,500. Now it's coming down. All right, so the autopilot has the aircraft. And we're only 35 nautical miles from RDU. I can see the lights at RDU from here. And let's get our ATIS.
INTL information Lima. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 15. Dew point -13. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 05 left, 05 right, 32. Departing runways 05 left, 05 right, 32. Advised on initial contact, you have Lima.
All right, so we got Lima and 0992. I mean 2992. So let's set this 2992. And we would be on approach 12745 is tower. Enter. And .24 nautical miles up. Raleigh approach Pilatus 9875. Foxtrot is 24 miles to the west inbound 4-stop. Looking for a runway 5 left Raleigh. That wasn't right. Didn't have to. Expect runway 5 right. Expect runway 5 right, Pilatus 24, 29. See there, I must be getting tired. Expect runway 5 right, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. Okay. So they would vector me in and they might say 9875 Foxtrot, turn right to 150. All right, so we hit this guy, turn and repeat that back. Turn right 150 Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. And I didn't have to say that for call sign. And then turn heading on. And they would vector me in at this point. And so, what am I not doing? You know, there's really, when you this close to your to landing, there's really never a time when you just relax and do nothing. All right, so um, 1172 is the RDU VOR, so we're going to put that in, and we're at 25. Let's see, let's get this set up for a descent, and want to do a 500 foot a minute descent. And so we are going to hand fly it in, and the pattern is 1500. All right, so let's punch that in. Let's see, doggone it, I did ascend. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. 1500 and make this descend. I keep getting bit by that. And let's make this 1000 till we get down to 1500. Raleigh approach. The airport is in sight. Squawk and VFR. Thanks for the help. 9875 Foxtrot. All right, so we can squawk VFR, which is what we're doing. And this needs to be on altitude reporting, right? All right. Turn right to 060 Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. Correction, turn left to 060. All right. Tower on 127.45 Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. All right, so Raleigh Tower, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot, inbound for runway 5 right, full stop. Clear to land, runway 5 right, Pilatus 9875 Foxtrot. Alright, so they just cleared me to land, even though I'm lined up for the wrong runway. But I am fixing that right now. And it's my aircraft. Y'all damper is off. Autopilot is off. And power back. Gear down. Landing lights on. Flaps 28%. Not 15%. 28% in that PC in the porter. Try not to do that. Try not to go into beta on short final. $1,000. I'm cleared the land, so I don't need to make any more radio calls. Just need to find that glide slope. So I got 4 reds. I need 2 reds and 2 white. I got 1 white, 3 red. And I hate when this happens. I'm like getting only 18 frames a minute, so I am coming in slow motion. It's really breaking my immersion. Hundred, but it's if I can't land, if I can't butter a slow motion landing, then something um, just ain't right. There's a song by a guy named Keith, I think it's Keith Sweat. Something, 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 something just ain't right. All right, gear down. Y'all damper needs to go off. And landing lights are on. Slow motion. And that should have been butter. Beta, 50 knots, out of beta, brakes. Now I'm up to, I'm getting 19 to 20 beta. No, I don't want beta. I want brakes. Whoa, I missed that. Beta. All right. I know I don't want beta below 30 knots. And somehow another, not watching, I had gotten up there about 50 knots. See, okay, flight idle. Probably what I should start doing is turning my condition down to ground once I'm rolling out, and that would give me more control. Anyway, let's clean up here. Flaps up, strobes off, landing lights off, taxi lights on, trim, and transponder. Clear to the left, clear to the right, to the right, to the right. Follow the markers. Let's see. Well, I want to follow the yellow brick road. I can't think of anything jazzy and snazzy to call these blue lights or these green lights. Now, I know I want to find Charlie on my road sign. Let's see. That's Alpha 7. This is Charlie here. And the only reason I knew that because I'm familiar with this airport. Just missing that turnoff put me in the center of the runway. All right. And so this scenery is by a company called Field There. And I think it's I think it's a little frame heavy. Um, and I might need to reach out to them about that because there's no reason I should land, and I should have under 18 um, park right here at General Aviation. This building is lacking some detail. I mean, it's in the right shape. The windows are good, but you know, it it really um, looked a lot more cartoonish, and I hate using that word, than the other RDU package that I bought. Well, this building was modeled really well, but there was so much other stuff wrong with that package that I just decided to abandon it and try to feel good, to feel their feel good package. Let's get up here. Let's see how well did we do. I don't feel like I did well at all, which I didn't. Yeah. All right. So let's turn our brakes, set our brakes, and we never did turn our passenger advisory back on. Pros can come off, and inertia separator should have came on. I don't know why, but I have a tendency of abandoning checklists by the time I get to approach and landing. It's like I revert back to I'm flying a Cessna, um, get the sight picture and put her down. Okay, and go ahead and stop our props. Turn the emergency, the this guy off, and switches can come off. Standby. We'll turn standby on and turn generator 1 and 2 off. Avionics can go off. Battery 1 and 2. I didn't think I was going to lose all that power with standby on. Um, so battery back on. Okay, standby bus wasn't on. There we go. I wanted some power out there. All right, and I think I still got my floodlights on. Okay, so let's get paid. Plug in X-Economy. Finish flight. And so let's go to my flight, and you'll see this change 63 to 11.8. And that flight is over. That's why I don't have anything there. And let's look at the payment log, and I earned $5,500 there. And of course, they did refund this $362, but it cost me over 1,300. Well, um, yeah, $1,300 over four. Yeah, almost $1,400 to land here. The fuel I spent. So, but it is what it is. All right, so I'm back up to 11,000 um, in cash. I started out with 5,000. So tonight I made 51, almost $5,200, and I've got the aircraft at my home airport now. Let's get back to the sim here and throw some chalks in. And let's take a look at the aircraft from the outside. And our beacon is still on because all right, beacon is still on because we got our standby on. All right, and let's turn our beacon off, and let's turn our standby power off. Well, let's turn our inverter off and standby. I wish it would remember this state, but it doesn't. That's good and bad. I know the TBM remembers the state, and with the what do you call it? The people who do the packs, the add-ons, the sim coders, rep packs, um, will help the aircraft at least remember it state from a maintenance standpoint of view. Um, and I don't even use them. So go figure. All right, guys, I enjoyed it. I know it was a long flight. It's been a great way for me to lose a couple hours of my life. It's been a lot more active than watching television. So I am not mad. And until next time, I enjoyed you. Y'all.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.